डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaskar friends, I am Dr. Kisan Joshi and I am assistant professor working as an assistant professor in Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University. The kind of topic that we are going to deal with today is a short story by Marquez. The full name of the author is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. He is a Latin American author. So the title, A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings, was written, the short story with this title was written in 1968 with a subtitle, A Tale for Children. And this story was a part of short story collection under the title Leaf Storm and Other Stories. A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings. So here is the outline for the presentation. These are the points that we are going to look into while the presentation. First we will start with introduction of the author, then genre, the short story belongs to, characters of the short story, a brief summary about the story, some important aspects in the story that we have analyzed as part of a reading and analysis of the story, and last some of the questions for the discussions. So if I talk about the author, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, he was born in 1927 in Colombia state, and the place where he was born was a name of a the author of the story is Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and he was born in 1927 in a small town Aracataca in Colombia, and the place Colombia is situated between mountains and Caribbean Sea. So that is the place where he was born. He grew with his grandparents from maternal side. He went to Jesuit college to pursue law, and then because of his passion of moving around, roaming the world, because of his passion for journalism, he dropped his law studies and then he joined, he started working as a journalist. Then for some consignment he went to Rome in 1954, and since then he moved around the whole world and stayed in different places like Paris, New York, Barcelona and Mexico. Mexico is the last place where he even died. So besides his wonderful fictional works, he has also written some of the screenplays. Along with that, he has continued to work as a journalist. So he was a better journalist, better writer, better screenplay, playwright, and number of things he used to do. And for his masterpiece under the title 100 Years of Solitude, written in 1967, he won Nobel Prize in the year 1982. So this was the year when he was given Nobel Prize in Literature for writing a beautiful masterpiece, a novel. He is one of the best Latin American writers, and he is the fourth Latin American writer who received Nobel Prize. And ultimately, as I said, he died in Mexico in the year 2014. So before we start doing something as part of the story, I just want you to look at these both pictures and to have a kind of relevance, if you have read the story, to have a kind of relevance of these both the pictures with the story that we are going to look into. So the first picture here is of a very famous character, Aladdin. Jane is also there, Kalin is also there, a kind of a carpet, magical carpet. So the first picture itself itself is about something magical within it. And if I consider the second picture as an important aspect of our presentation, something that we can look into, something that we can discuss about, something that, if I say something that has to do with magic, then that becomes another picture of Lord Ganesha. So something is once again something is very unique about this character, a mythological character, a god in India. We all pray them. A face of a boy is of an elephant, and rest of the body is of a boy, a male. So that's how it's a combination of animal and human beings. And once again, it is something very unusual that we find. We don't find usually things around us. So this is once again a cover page of a story by Marquis. The title is A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings. The title itself is magical. When I say a person with enormous wings, it's very unusual to even say, even to imagine, even to think about these kind of concepts. So you can look at the picture. An old man is resting somewhere on a bench, and you can also look at the wings that he is having. Now you can imagine the kind of story that Marquis must have written. Before we look into the story of a story, what Marquis had written as part of his writer, we first will look into the genre that this story belongs to. We start with the words of Marquis itself. Ultimately, literature is nothing but carpentry, the work of carpentry. Now, work of carpentry is nothing but to assimilate things together and to come up with something new, unique. Okay? So, to bring things together, some unusual things together, to create a masterpiece, to create something we have never imagined about. So that's what he says is a work of a writer, is an ultimate goal of a writer writing or coming up with a piece of art in literature. The term that he gives to his writing is called magic realism. Now, if we think of this term, magic realism, one term deals with fantasy, and the another term, it's a compound word, we can say that. So the another term deals with reality, and when magic things and reality, they are blended in such a manner that we even cannot discriminate them, that what is real and what is magical. Those kind of stories, those kind of writer belong to magic realism. It's a title given by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So there are some of the quotations, there are some of the definitions given about magic realism as a term to define it in more lucid form, more easy form. The introduction of magical device or magic is generally, in general, the introduction of magical devices or magic in general within a believable story without any disruption of the logic of the story. Now, as I said, you blend things together in such a form that you fail at the end. As a reader, you are made to believe in what he is writing. You are made to believe in what he is writing, what he is sharing with you as a writer. And our role as a reader is just to read, enjoy, think over it, and then move ahead. We cannot question what he is writing. So that's the idea behind magic realism. We don't question what is real, what is unnatural, what is magical, what is fantastic. It's something that becomes very difficult for us as an audience to even think about. The another quote that said about magic realism is literary style that combines realistic everyday details with the element of fantasy, blurring the reader's usual distinction between reality and magic. Once again, it is talking about the same thing. Magic realism ultimately blends reality and magic. So that's the basic idea about the concept that Gabriel Garcia Marquez has given as part of his write-up, and most of the works that he has written deal with this idea, this as a tool of his writing literature. Realism combined with supernatural elements, the same kind of a concept. Now, if we talk about characters of the story, there are different characters in the story, but still there are most of the characters who do not change or grow throughout the story. They remain flat throughout the story. We cannot find significant kind of a difference, significant kind of changes within them. So they remain stable. They are static kind of characters. They are not dynamic characters. The characters can be categorized in three different categories. Fairly, we can say that. The first one is real character, real life characters. The second category that we can categorize the characters is fantastic characters. We'll see what are the characters that fall into different categories. And the last characters that are part of the story, they support both the kind of concepts, magic and reality. And because of them, we are made to believe what Marquez wants to say. So, in the beginning, we'll talk about realistic characters. As the names are Spanish, we'll look into how they can be pronounced in a better form, a near form that usually people pronounce, native people. Pelayo, that is Pelayo, husband of Elisenda, and the another third character, that is real character, is a child of parents. These are the parents in the story. Husband is Pelayo and the wife is Elisenda, and they are having an infant child. There is no name mentioned about the child in the story. These are the fantastic characters. As you have seen the image of an old man with enormous wings, here is another image to stimulate your imagination about the another character, that is the Spider Woman, that appears by the end of the story. There is a kind of relevance in the story of this character, but still it has no relevance in the story. The old man, which is an angel, fallen angel coming from nowhere, we don't know, nothing is mentioned in the story, and you can look at the picture. As I said, there are certain characters that support reality and magical elements in the story. Those characters are Gonzaga. He is a person who represents church. He is a local priest, and he is a person who looks at the old man, angel, from a Catholic point of view, because he is a representative of church. So for him, whatever church says, whatever holy scriptures say is true, is fact. He cannot oppose those things, set ideas. Neighbor old woman, we can consider her as a product of society. She represents society where people are living in, a society where an angel from nowhere is in now, the part of the society. People of the town, once again, society itself. A woman, a part of society. People of the town as society itself. and the kind of concepts and everything that they are having about something unusual things even is quite interestingly described as part of the story. Summary of the story. As I said, the title of the story itself is very interesting. The title is A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings. Now the title, enormous wings, that is blended with a real person, old man, itself is a combination of magical things and reality. So old man is real, but when I say old man is with enormous wings, is something magical, fantastic things, something that we have just imagined about, something that we must have only read about in some of the fairy tales or something like that. Okay? So that's how we look at the story in a different view, in a different angle. Story begins with a very unusual kind of an atmosphere, wherein Pelayo and Elisenda are under a sea storm in a house where there are lots and lots of crabs, and what they are doing, they are killing crabs. Once again, the task of killing crabs is very inhuman. In a way, they are described in a violent form. To killing crabs, to kill itself is a sign of violence, nothing else. So that's how the story begins. They are very much in the world they are living in, and interestingly, not interestingly, but the child that they are having, an infant child, is very much sick, is having temperature, is having fever, and which is very difficult for them to understand why this is happening to it. So that's something that is very realistically author has explained. Begin the story with, suddenly from nowhere Pelayo observes an angel at the backyard of his house, lying there in mud, his head down in the mud, very much in poor condition, pitiful condition, and both the characters, Pelayo and Elisenda, they are quite baffled with the kind of scene that they have seen. Now what author says, what critic says is, it's a call from heaven for the couple. Always to have an angel in your life, to see even an angel, is a call, is a bliss that we receive from heaven. Okay? So a call from heaven for the couple, and unfortunately they don't understand the call, they don't receive the call, and they treat the angel, who is a messenger from God, who might be the messenger from God, in a very poor way. So they fail to understand the call from angel, the call from God, and they treat him very badly, so badly that they didn't even give them an angel, him, to eat anything, a shelter to live in. Rather what they did is, they put him, an angel, an old man, in chicken coop, a place where chickens were stored, were placed. So it's so pitiful kind of a response, that not a response even, but the kind of treatment that is given to an angel, even to someone stranger, is very a pitiful response that we give. The news of angel's arrival spread across the town very widely, very quickly, like a fire in a forest. And the next day, next morning, the whole house was surrounded by lots and lots of people just to see the angel. What kind of an appearance does an angel have? So just for that, people come together in the crowds, and all troubles are faced by both the couples, both the members of the house, Pelayo and Elisenda. Before that, they had an opinion of an old woman to know what this exactly the creature is and why has he come down in so pitiful condition. Why is he in pitiful condition? Those are the questions which are very much creating trouble for both of them, Elisenda and Pelayo. And the kind of response that old lady gives to this couple is very shocking. She says that this old man actually is an angel, and he has come down for their child. So that's a kind of response that she is giving to this couple. And it was said that within that community she was not one of the most, but she was the most knowledgeable person, knowing things far from the place that they were living in. Okay, so that was a condition about what they did, what she replied to the question. The next day, the moment Gonzaga received the news of an angel, came to that place to visit the old man to see what kind of an appearance does he have, or what kind of a language does he speak. Is he really an angel or just an impostor? These were the questions. Once again, it was with very obvious reason. These were the questions for everyone, and he was not an unusual person. He was doing the same kind of a thing. So he was inquiring about what things are happening around. What he did was very interesting once again. The way the old woman has suggested things about old men, here also we can see that his view about the old men is once again very unique in itself. What he says is, he tries to talk with them, the angel, and when the angel doesn't reply to the kind of language that he wanted him to speak, he considers him not an actual angel. He is trying to be indifferent to what he was. So the kind of language that he says is a language of God that they used to consider, the language of God, that is Latin. So if this old man doesn't speak Latin, he is not an angel. Another thing very interesting was, he says that he is not an angel because he doesn't pay any respect to the ministers of God, priests, representatives of church. So that's all kind of concepts that he is having just because he was a representative of Catholic Church, and he is looking at the man from a Catholic point of view only. The another thing, as the story moves ahead, the town or the society derives fun out of him. When I say that all the town had come together to see what does the town and the society derived fun out of him. When I say this, as part of the story, rest of the community, people have come together just to see the angel. Now they are not just looking at the angel as a spectators, as an audience, but they are trying to create harm to him. They used to throw food to him just in order to know what does he eat or something like that. So that was very inhuman experience that the old man, the angel, had received from the rest of the community people. Interestingly, the couple who are having this angel as part of their now possession started charging money to see an angel, and that's how they made lot of money out of just to make people see the angel, and they were not even careful about what kind of a treatment was he receiving from the people. They were hurting him, they were giving burn to him, and lots of things were happening to him, but those were the things which were not significant for them, but money only. So the kind of money that they charged was 5 cents for a per visit for every visitor, and they made a lot of money. Another thing that is very interesting to know, unknowingly the child is now healing. They were very poor, financially they were very poor. They have also started getting lots and lots of money. So financially they are growing, their child is healing, growing now, and they are very much indifferent to what kind of magical things are happening just because of the presence of an angel. And finally people's attention was towards Spider Woman. Now this character has no significance in the story, we can say that, though it's a part of the story, just because to show that human interest span is very short. We are the people who always love change. We are the people who always love carnival things. It's very unusual kind of a thing that Marquis has presented indirectly in his story. And ultimately, though the couple had earned a lot and lots of, at the end of the story, once again, when the couple earn a large amount of money, the child has grown well. She is still indifferent to what has happened to them. They are now in a better position financially and everything, but still she is feeling relaxed when the old man leaves the house and fly away. So that's how the story ends in what Marquis has suggested, the kind of an end that story is having. Now some of the important aspects of the stories is, the first thing that I would like to talk about is the narrative of the story. It is like there are different narrative styles, but this story is written in an objective and omniscient narrative way. The narrator knows everything in a way. It's an objective form. There is nothing subjectivity in the story. So that's one thing that is very interesting to know about the story. Another thing is the mood of the story. Since from the beginning to end, it is very gloomy and dark kind of an atmosphere that we can observe while reading the story. The setting of the story, if I say it's as the author himself is Latin American author, the setting itself is of in Latin America. The conflicts that rolls the story forward is once again very interesting. Like we throughout the story as a reader, we always have a question that why the angel is here. That's the first question that we always keep on thinking and repeating. The very basic question, is he really an angel or he is an imposter kind of a person? And what has happened to him that he is down here among the people who don't even pay respect to him? In an appearance also he is very different to the normal people, but still they are very indifferent to him. The last thing that baffles us is he really an angel? This is a question that is very important and no answer is given throughout the story. The resolved things, if we think about, there is no resolution by the end of the story. It is everything to the reader's imagination. It is the reader who will decide whether the person was really an angel, to know the kind of things that had happened to the couple, to the child, is something that is very interesting. Okay, and every time the old man is judged through our notions of an angel, our notions about, our imposed notions that we are taught through our religious scriptures. For example, from church, from Bible, whatever we have received is something that has limited our senses, that has limited our senses, our imagination and everything. So the concept of the story, where we think about these three different aspects, if we start with human beings, community and culture, there are certain things which are explained in the story by Gabriel Garcia Marquez in a very unusual way. What he says indirectly in the story, through the story, is we love to categorize and label things as per our concepts and understanding. Whatever understandings we are having about particular thing, we'll try to label that thing without even any kind of a logic to put in, from those notions only. What we can observe in the story is society and institutions like church. At the end, what they declare is the old man is not an angel, is an imposter, a fake person. We like to apply a logic to something that we do not understand and try to justify that logic even. A logic, something that is beyond our senses, we try to put our logic to those things and ultimately we try to even justify those logics. So that is something that is very illogical even, and this is what Marquez has presented as part of his story. The kind of language that he is talking about, Latin, language of God, an angel must speak Latin and everything. We are programmed to always make profit out of something new, and that's what the couple did. They made money like anything, just with the help of an old man. He primarily do not accept something apart from, we primarily do not accept something apart from our daily routine. If we feel that something has come into our daily, something that has come into our daily life, that's not a part of our life, we fail to accept those things. So that's a basic human tendency to reject things from a very beginning, and slowly and gradually we do accept things, but the first reaction every human being will be having is a rejection, nothing else. Basic human nature is of a violence and to exploit, and throughout the story you can experience this thing. We love change and new things in the life, and the kind of concept that we are having of going to fairs, to be the part of carnivals, to be in fun situation all the time and everything. So these are the minute things that we can observe as part of our story reading experience. So always a story has a moral, but this story doesn't have any kind of a moral to say, to share with the audience. It just show you the mirror, nothing else. Not really, but some messages are given by Marquez to the audience, like people wouldn't recognize a miracle even if they see one. If I am not a believer, not in terms of believing in God, but believer in general sense, I will never pay heed to what kind of a miracle that is happening around me. Rather, I will be indifferent to what kind of things which are happening into my favor. So that's what a message that he shares with the audience. And couple make money, child got cured, these are the things which are happening just because of the presence of an angel, but they are not in that sense to understand, to experience the changes. appearances are deceptive, and we have all the tools to deceive ourselves, to deceive us. Now human beings themselves have created a kind of a tools to deceive themselves, and the moment we deceive self is a stage of indecisiveness, is a stage where we limit our levels of understanding, we limit our levels of comprehension even. It is difficult to be open for the outsiders, and it is quite obvious for every human being, every living creature, because space is something that we are always aware of. Okay? So, the moment we are surrounded by outsiders, we feel a sense of insecurity, and that is what exactly people of the town are feeling and an old man is feeling. So, once again that is an analogy that we can find in the story. So, while reading the story, these are the questions that we can have a look, have a discussion over it for your reference, for your better understanding about the story. You can have a look at these questions. They are very simple in a form, like when you will be reading the story, you might come up with these kind of normal questions. Discuss the element of the supernatural in Marquis' story. Discuss the behavior of village people towards the old man. That is a very important question to discuss. What is the duality in the story? What effect does the combination of magical and ordinary details have on the readers, on we as an audience? Discuss how Marquis achieves a constant level of uncertainty in his story. Compare and contrast the differing portrayals of the spider girl and the angel. So, what is the significance of these both imageries, these both fantastic characters as part of the story? Is there a wider purpose behind the contrast that Marquis is trying to show, or they are very normally presented as part of the story? That is also a very important question. What does the story comment upon humanity? How is human in the story and how does the story comment upon the humanity? Who is human in the story and who isn't? What qualifies someone as human? So, human must be humane. You must show humanity. So, it is also a very interesting question to think about, that who is human in the story, whether humans are themselves human in the story, or the angel himself being an angel is a human in the story. Who is who? That is a very important question. So, these are the references. Only one reference is there, as the story, the analysis and everything is done out of the original text. There is a movie, you can have a look, with the same title, A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings. Thank you.